see, and the things I don't even know. I can't even talk about things that she's done that she should be.
Bro, anything that
You know what I'm
she's
saying?
done, Trump has
Oh
done
yeah.
10 times, especially with all
No,
the ep files coming out, bro. Like, come on.
no
Come
way.
on, you
No,
have
it's,
to, especially. I don't think we've talked
but
since that's all come out. I mean, you have to see that, man. Like, right? Come on.
well, it doesn't matter. I like what he's doing in Venezuela right now. I think it's
What? You're
we're
for
gonna
you want to take to invade a nation?
because what about the rug problem we have today?
Okay, all right, then deal
You
with
know,
that.
you
Then
don't
deal with
think
that. Why
that's a
would
problem?
then why would you invade a country in order to do that?
I mean, I heard that that oil they reported on the news that it goes to somehow it gets back to China.
What?
Uh,
What are you talking
yeah,
about? The oil?
yeah, yeah. The tanker that tank is it's supposed to be sanctioned. Those that there it shouldn't even be shipping out. Is it true? I'm
I
pretty sure
have
it
no
is.
idea.
So
But dude, why are you
yeah.
for invading another nation, and why are you for taking them over?
Well, it's the war on rugs.
So that's
You
you're
know
okay with that. So any type of
why?
war on blank, and then you just blanketly
Why are
support
you
that
against
without.
that? Haven't you seen the amount of unaliving of people in this country the past 20, 30 years?
Yeah.
You don't see that as a problem?
Okay, yeah, but I see like that for like guns in the same spot, the firearms and
Well,
unaliving and
yeah, but
self
still.
unaliving happens the same thing. But you
Oh,
don't care about
God.
that. So like
Yeah, but,
why would you want to start a war with an endless war with a free flow of like hundreds of billions of dollars going into that versus trying to just like trying to do what we can here?
well, I mean, the problem is now, well, our military really has nothing to do right now. There's no
Oh my
major
god.
war going on.
This is
So
ridiculous. So we just have to
that's what
give
the
them something to
military
do.
does, dude.
So we just have to
That's
give
what
them
they do.
something to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, dude, that's
Look at the
insane.
ships they have out there. They got the baddest U.S. carrier out there right now.
Nice. Bare
So
necessity 30 for oh nice. We
you
are
know, I mean,
bare necessity. You're amazing. You officially put us
yeah.
um 1 11 06 3 2 1. Nice. So you when you were supporting Trump in 2016, a big part of what he said was like, no new wars. I didn't support Iraq and that kind of stuff. And then now you're just, it's whatever Trump thinks should be a new war, it should be a
No,
new war.
he had independent ideas, and I think
What
that's
independent
what
ideas
he's
does he have?
you know talking about foreign aid, and we need to get rid of it for the most part because we're broke. You
Because we're
know,
broke, but we're not too broke for a
pretty
Venezuela
much.
war.
Well, probably not
I
because
guess
we
not. That
haven't
doesn't
had a
make any
war.
sense, dude. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, it's been
We don't
over
have we don't
five
have enough money.
years.
We don't have enough money for $100 million to save starving children, but then you can like you have room for hundreds of billions of dollars for a ground army for
Yeah,
Venezuela.
well, that's not ground yet, but
It's going to be. He's going to do it. That's what they're doing right now.
well, that'll be that's the war that's been going on for years, and now at least he's taking action. So,
What are you talking about, dude? It's just like
I
you're all
mean,
over the place. I don't think like this is insane.
well, okay, well, maybe it'll save. Like Trump says, it's every time they blow up one of those boats, it's 25,000 lives that are saved.
Eh,
From that F word. I can't say it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know that
Okay.
that's not where that's not the route that it actually comes in for, right? You don't believe that.
You know, it just shocks me just to think that they're shipping the rugs like that.
They aren't.
They actually
They
have an
aren't.
operation, like a
They aren't.
corporation
They
running
aren't.
here.
They aren't shipping it that way.
So those are so you're thinking those boats are fishing boats, like every 'Cause-
independent analyses shows that it's all from Mexico and the Pacific.
what, the boats? They're full of rugs. I mean, they're not fishing
No.
boats, correct?
They're not. They're not full of.
Okay.
They're not. They're all of the majority of where it's coming from is from Mexico and from the Pacific.
Well, the borders are shut down. The borders are good.
It's not. No,
unlike
it's not.
4 or 5 years ago.
It's not. Again.
Yes,
just
it is.
completely. No, it's not.
It's
you just
95%
all you do
closed,
is just
dude.
you just like completely slurp up whatever slop that he pushes out, and you don't think
No, well,
critically, and
it's
you
the
don't agree
truth.
with like media that have independently looked at this. All that's happening now is that people are just running away from border agents and stuff. They are just
You know,
they're just running away.
I think what Biden did, when he opened up the borders back then, that's the reason he did it. So he knew that once they're here, and some of them are legal, and then a lot of them are illegal, he's going to, it's Trump's mess now. So, he's just,
talking about?
trying to clean it up,
He's not, though. He isn't.
Oh, man. Do you even watch YouTube? Do you watch all these?
No,
all
I
these
don't get my
videos?
news from YouTube. I don't get my
No,
news from
because
YouTube
they're
or
police
TikTok
videos.
or anything
They're
like
real
that.
videos, dude.
No, they're
You ought to
not.
check them out.
Dude,
They actually have people in just regular cars. I just saw one tonight. It's just two guys. They had $1 million worth of that rug it starts with the letter F. They had $1 million worth in just one little car. Two guys. It's a police video. You need to check them out. This has been going on for probably 20 years now.
what's wild to me is that
And these two guys had no ID. They were illegal. I'm going. That's just unbelievable. How many more cars are out there running around like that?
It's how you guys get like completely led around like dogs, like on a leash by Trump, and then you expect us to
This
like
ain't coming from Trump. This is coming from police video, dude. A real freaking police stop.
My point is that this was never like the rug war and all that kind of stuff was not even on your top 5 like reasons to vote for Trump. It wasn't even. It had nothing to do with that. And then now, as soon as he gets in there, now all of a sudden you guys accept like, oh, the rug war is the number one thing.
He promised. He promised to get the bad guys out, and it had a lot.
We need to invade Venezuela. We need to invade Greenland.
No,
we need to
he
invade
had
all this stuff.
He said it in his election. He said it before he got elected. That's one of the things he's going to do. Get all the illegals out of here and take care of
He was talking about affordability.
And the rugs come with it. That's what he's talking about.
No.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
No. It was not. The rug war was not the top 10 of like Trump 10 of Trump issues.
But he talked about the gang members, and along with gangs comes the rugs. They've been doing it for decades, dude. You just don't live in a neighborhood that like the bad ones in Chicago or L.A. All those punks over there.
What are you talking
all
about?
That rioting they did.
What are you talking about?
All that riot. When they rioted back then, remember? You didn't see that? No.
BLM? Like, what are you talking about? That wasn't riots, dude. Those aren't
You
riots.
didn't see that?
They were
riots. Destroying police cars in L.A., dude.
No, they weren't,
you didn't see all those videos? Yes, they did. Oh, my God.
Dude, you see one video and you get some type of video.
News.
No, dude.
It was on ABC. It was on
CBS. Dude, you see one video that's like looped on, and you get your algorithm just shapes your entire perception of it.
Why are you so blind to the real news? Yeah. See, and now they're getting in at ICE headquarters and protesting and trying to disrupt the ICE operations. It's like, come on, man.
Dude, you guys are just, it's so wild to me. Like, what when has Trump gone too far for you? When do you think that Trump has gone too far? Like, how do you know whether or not Trump is like lying to you or not?
Well, all politicians lie. They've been lying since
Okay, so
1960.
it's, you're accusing you're saying that Trump can lie with impunity now because of some Democratic politician lying one time. Now every single Republican politician can do whatever they want.
Pretty much.
Exactly, exactly,
We
dude.
have
You
to pay
guys have
taxes, right?
you guys have no
You
no
know?
actual morals or anything. It's just insane.
Well, y'all did the same thing. You vote for liars.
Not even
too.
close. Not even
Yes,
close.
it is, dude.
Not even close. Not even 1% of like anything that has
Two
happened.
wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
No, but you're not.
And
But that's your
pretty much
logic.
what's been going on.
That's your logic.
That's pretty much a good logic. See, I can't see. I wish we could talk on the phone, and I can tell you what I know, what I have learned, and I can't talk about it on here. Okay.
Dude,
So-
again, like some crazy like conspiracy with Israel, I'm sure
not
is
conspiracies, man.
improve with it. Yeah, I'm sure you're
No.
thinking about it, how they run the
Yeah.
world and what nonsense it is, and that's wrong too.
Basically, they've been lying to us since 1963. So
Yeah, I mean exactly. So it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
It's all nonsense, man.
see, and look where we're at today.
It's all nonsense. Our government is not controlled by Israel.
Yeah. Well,
It's not. Like, what are you talking about? So you think that Trump is controlled by
I didn't say
Israel
that,
right
but-
now?
I didn't say nothing about Israel. What are you talking? I don't like Israel, to be particular. I don't hate Israel, but there's actually a badass drummer who's a female. She's from Israel. That's one of the few. And
I like how like you just fall for every conspiracy, and then when I asked about the Jeff files, you're like, oh, probably no, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, in what world, dude? Like,
what file are you talking about?
what are you talking about? What files? What do you the biggest the one that makes Trump in the center of a global child ring?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I seen the pictures already. There's no pictures. showing
So he
nothing
has to
yet.
be. So you have to have a picture of him with the child. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're
Apparently
way
they
in.
do have that. That's one of the big problems is that they're trying to
we'll see.
censor it and they're
We'll
trying to
see.
stop it from being shared. Is that there is a picture of that? But you
Bill
don't think that
Clinton's
he
gonna
was
be there.
involved at
Bill
all?
Clinton's gonna be in there. Tom Hanks is gonna be in there.
Jeffrey Epstein was his best friend.
With Tom Hanks, right?
No, with Trump.
Well, Tom Hanks too.
Dude, he said that Trump is his best friend. He said that.
Yeah, but Trump said he never even been to the island.
Obviously that's a lie. I mean, obviously.
Okay, well then show a picture of him on the island then. Do you have it? Do they have it?
What do you mean? There could be
have
under
a
the
picture of him
5,000
on the
ones that
island?
he's trying to withhold, probably.
Okay, when you get a picture of Epstein's office, I think I've seen that one yesterday. Okay, well, show me a picture with Trump in that office. on the
Brittany,
island,
there's like
right?
there's him. Jeffrey was like talking to, and talking about how he's like best friends with Trump, and they were talking about emails and stuff and sending birthday party invites together, and they were partying together.
I don't know.
They even he got mad. They had a falling out because Jeffrey was stealing and trafficking people from Mar-a-Lago. And he was like, hey, and he even admitted it in the summer and said he had to stop that. That was not okay what he was doing. And it's like, dude, what? Like he admitted to it and he was actually mad that it was happening.
Well, they do that in Mexico too. There's human smuggling, man.
Dude, why?
That's why it's a big problem.
Okay, so why is it with Trump that you guys can just constantly give him the benefit of the doubt, and you never question whether or not he should be doing something? But then with Democrats, you have this accountability threshold that is so low that even like they do one thing, and then for the rest of your life, you can just justify every single action.
How come Biden didn't do anything? Oh, he was half asleep.
No, because he's not actually instructing his DOJ in order to go after the conspiracy theories. I mean, Trump is going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. You realize that, right? The only person in jail right now from this global ring, and
She's
it's
pretty much there anyway. Her prison is like a
because of
vacation,
Trump.
you know?
Because of Trump. What are you talking about?
well.
It's got reduced because of his DOJ.
Well, Hunter Biden's free, so he got pardoned. So,
dude, again, so you can't. Again, we're talking about a global ring and a trafficking ring, and here you are
Hunter
doing
Biden
whatever you
stole
can in
millions
order
of
to bring
dollars.
Biden
He got
up.
a job with China. He got a job under China, and he he wasn't even qualified. He was just given money. He just probably coming
like
from
Trump's
our tax.
entire family, his entire life, just given money. Like, what are you talking about? It was like $10,000 a month or something that Hunter Biden got from. It wasn't even like it wasn't even a lot of money.
Hunter Biden, doing rugs
and like Trump doesn't, and like his family doesn't. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's his sons. Do you ever see them in trouble like that?
Yeah. Are you out of your mind? Junior is yeeted out of his mind whenever he's in public. Are you crazy? So okay, exactly. You were just saying how bad it was with Hunter, and then here you are talking about Junior, and you're like, so what's wrong with him being yeeted? Yeah, that's great.
Harris is an alcoholic, so
like, what are you talking about, dude? Like every single time, like it's just you have reactionary politics. It's called. Do you know what reactionary is? Harris now is an alcoholic. What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is an alcoholic?
Oh yeah, dude. I partied in the 80s, dude. I know what an alcoholic talks
You
like.
obviously don't. You obviously don't, dude. You obviously don't. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh man.
If you don't think that the Trump administration has more of a rug problem than the Biden family, you're out of your mind, dude.
So you haven't seen her public speaks in the past a year. You haven't seen her come up and talk.
What are you talking about? She's totally fine.
No, she's not.
Dude, you're crazy, man.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess, are we okay so far? I haven't got dropped yet. So.
I don't understand why you spend so much time, and Trump supporters spend so much time trying to defend the actions of Trump, and so much time vilifying and hating like Democrats, not just Democrat politicians. I'm hypercritical of Republican politicians, not Republican voters, okay? But you guys do just sit there and demean Democrat voters, and then meanwhile billionaires are just looting this entire country and pillaging everything from this country, and I feel like what you guys are completely okay with it. It blows my mind.
It's just sad. It's the way the country is overpopulated.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, dude! You can't even engage with the sentence that I've said. You can't even engage with something that I said.
You have so many families that have kids. And that's gonna add up in the future. That you got generations to come. What's the problem? And a lot of
so what are you talking about? Everyone, that's the whole point on the white Christian nationalist side is that people need to have more kids. He's definitely not trolling, Cher. He's from my past. I've known this guy for 6 months now. Yeah, exactly. The birth rate is dropping. I got banned for talking about this, by the way. This is my 3-day ban, literally talking exactly what Fuentes talks about and what J.D. Vance talks about. So it's crazy that it can literally come from the president, the vice president of the United States, but I actually just mentioning it gets me a 3-day ban.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't get your whole page taken down.
It did, for 3. Well, I mean, it's just been 3 days.
Well, you got your page back.
Yeah, I got my live back. Yeah, it was like taking my live down.
No, but they just deleted my other page. They didn't delete you, right?
Okay. I guess I don't know. I guess I have 2 strikes now because I got 2 bans. No, here you go. Not eligible for recommendations, restricted because Rocky has to. Okay.
See.
Stereo, dude. See ya. God. Oh. So annoying. Hey guys, how's it going? No, he got he got a live he got a live violation. Pre-workout versus caffeine alone. I mean, just take both. Yeah, Ruben, that's probably maybe I got my band talking about this exact same thing. The GR theory and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be it looks like they really care about this for some reason. They're trying to keep it down. The Trump administration's trying to stop us from talking about it. I don't know. So hi Mackenzie. All right, guys. Well, yeah, he got banned. Ruben on some of them, but not all of them. I don't know, NS. I don't know enough about it. I just have a bad sore throat. So I wanted to just do a panel tonight so I could talk less and just like chill. That was my idea. I didn't. So I don't know about the Marburg virus. Marburg virus. Interesting. Oh, ninth death. Oh yeah, WHO's following something. Oh, and there's an Ebola outbreak happening in Africa too. Oh man, it's the same thing. One happening in Congo, one happening in Ethiopia. Dang. Oh, the hot zone's about the Marburg virus? That's crazy because yeah, I don't know about that one. I saw about that video. So, let's see here. Ethiopia is over here on the East Horn of Africa. Democratic Republic of Congo is in the center. Boom. I know, Dream. It's insane. Like, I can't believe that we stopped USA USAID. It's insane. Central African Republic. Dang, is this like all just like layers and of Africa? Like, there's no Google Maps here, so I have no idea what it looks like to live in these places. Wow. Some of the only Central African Google Maps that we have. Dude, you don't get to, Ruben, nobody gets to talk about money being sent to Israel when we're about to ground invade Venezuela, bro. Like, that doesn't, you don't get to have that conversation. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just crazy to me that that people are just willingly to do that. Like, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, exactly, Marissa. That's a really good point. I totally agree. Thank you, NS. Ruben, don't you think that there's a lot of other ways in order to stop substances from getting into the country without invading a country? Like, come on, man. Like, come on, just think about that. Like, why would you invade another country in order to stop something that it doesn't even, it's not even coming through Venezuela, man. Like, you would want to, um, you'd want to I mean, that's what Trump's saying, but that's what Trump wants to. I mean, I honestly think I do think that we do invade Mexico within the next 100 years. I do think that that happens. Just because, like, it's such a, San Diego is like one of the most expensive places in the country. So, like, just expanding that, people will want to do that. And especially with like everything that's all that happens with the cartel and all that kind of stuff, I think that we invade Mexico. I would think so. Yeah, Dream, exactly. They were trying to. Yeah, Dream, that's a good point. I was like, I was on here last week. I'm like, there's no way it's actually about oil. It doesn't make any sense. And then they just like actually changed. Oh, thank you, stars. And then they actually change. They take the oil just straight up, and I'm like, what? That's so crazy. Exactly, Hazel. Yeah, it's all coming from Mexico and the Pacific. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Ruben, that's my point. We get all of our oil from, we either naturally produce it or we get it from Canada. You know, where does the oil for the USA come from? Domestic production is 60%. Canada, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. We get 52% of it, the imports. 52% from Canada. 11% from Mexico. Saudi Arabia is 5%. Iraq is 4%. Brazil is 3%. So again, it's just like doesn't make any sense. And then we export it to China, Mexico, Netherlands, Japan, Canada. Exactly, Marissa. It's crazy that, especially since that, like, Trump was made his whole, hi Dr. T, the whole thing about Trump when he first came into 2016 is he lied to people and he said that he never supported Iraq, and that's why he was so much different as a presidential candidate than the other Republicans, is that he was the truth sayer, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. And now here they are just lying to people again. It's crazy to me. It's so wild. Yeah, I think it was like 60 to 70% of Americans. It was very odd. Thank you, Stars. Thank you for that. Hi, Deanne. Yes, Jude. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Honduras president who trafficked thousands of tons of it in. So it's like, but that's the thing, is they constantly excuse whatever Trump does. They excuse it. You know, it's like it's always some like, oh, he had to pardon him in order to get to the big guy, or you know that's all they do. It's just wild to me. We'd be doing them a favor if we invade Ruben. That's an imperialism, dude. What are we talking about? Gosh, jeez. Imperialism isn't like a happy fun time where you're just like, oh, I think I'm just gonna go take over a country. Like, I guess destabilizing. I guess it's not technically feudalism since imperialism since we're not like taking over the land, but yeah. I know, Dream, exactly. We learned all of this nonsense already. And these same guys, these same yeah, exactly, Dr. T. And they spend this entire time, the 2024 election and 2020 and 2016, saying how Trump is God King because he didn't have any new wars, and that's why he's so incredible and all this nonsense. And then here he is, like, just here he is. It's so boring. It's so boring. Marissa, they don't even. It's crazy. They want to cut USAID $300 million a year because of whatever, but then they want to spend trillions of dollars for endless war again in South America. Like, these aren't serious people, you know. These aren't serious ideas, and the problem is that we are um, entertaining them. We're debating them. It's insane. Like we can't use USAID to create soft power in the United States and in the world so that we can like help people through, and actually like the USA becomes like a I mean, USAID is like the thing that makes people throughout the world actually like the United States, because it's like, wow, the ROI is insane if you're just thinking about it mechanistically like that, economically. Um, but now it's like, now people are talking about, but yeah, exactly, Dr. T. I know the idea that this is it's the Department of War. That's what they are, you know. It's not. No, what was that? Calibri was too woke. It's like too rounded. Like what? It's wild, man. Yeah, we were Dream. We were doing those into USAID. That like we were one of the big. I think we did $100 million for the South Sudan G side. It was us and United Arab Emirates, which is like the only two countries that actually gave money to those people that were perishing from famine, and now we can't afford that, you know. But now we can afford to take over entire countries. That's awesome. That's awesome, Marissa. It's very valuable. We can't afford US. Ruben, obviously we can, bro. Obviously we can when we have ICE at from 10 to $150 billion, and we have you guys starting a new war. Like that. That's like obviously we can. It's just a priority thing, man. It's like people like Trump administrations doesn't care about people perishing from food, but they're okay with perishing other people in some rug war that they are creating. Yeah, exactly, Marissa. That's true too. The $40 billion in Argentina just blows my mind. That's like they only gave 12 billion to the work to the actual farmers in the United States. Marissa, I can't for the life of me understand why it's 300 million. I don't understand. It's a big open room. I don't understand. You can build an entire house for $1 million. Like what? How is this a big open room? It's a freaking rectangle. A rectangle costs $300 million. Like it's like obviously the biggest slush fund. He exactly, Helen. It's like the most insane thing. The contracts for the ballroom, I thought that there wasn't any, and that's the problem, right? There wasn't any contracts for it, and they've tried. Then they fired the one guy that was doing it, and then now you have it all. It's all coming. If you wrap it in white marble. But that's not good, Ruben. That's not good. Would you rather have $300 million going towards a ballroom, or would you have it rather going to USAID, dude? Like that's what I don't understand. Like obviously USAID is better. Hi user. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, Dream. It really that's a good way to explain it. Saving poor children and families that will then think America as a geopolitical ally. Exactly. Okay, yeah, exactly, Ruben. Exactly. Exactly, dude. Like, the budget of a country is a moral document, right? That we prioritize things, and we are prioritizing the right things. And the problem is like that it really is. Um, it was Marissa. It was a literal propaganda wing. There was the started in World War II, the pro democracy, pro liberty, freedom radio or whatever it's called. It's like there was literal pro democracy propaganda pumped out from it that they shut down. Like how could you be like I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Marissa. The soft power. Exactly. Yeah, Dream. I totally agree. I think that it's a total affront to like what the White House even was. The fact that there's this huge thing that's just all of a sudden, all over that. A ballroom that's like 10 times the size of the house itself. Like it's just crazy, dude. I don't think it makes any sense. I know. I did see that there. I mean, well, apparently apparently um they already have been smuggling Nvidia chips in. So they're just like getting paid for it this time. So, I don't know. Yeah, Floopty, I don't understand why it had to be right there. I mean, I guess I understand like every time that there was an event at the White House, they had to construct this giant tent, which is a little weird. I guess that is a little weird. Yes, Ruben, exactly. Exactly. Yes, the billionaires are ransacking this country, man. Oh, they all are stealth. They all are. They're all slush fund trying to, yeah, they're all doing that. I know, Marissa. It takes a lot of talent if you think about it. Hey, we're wearing off. We're wearing off. That's what's happening. Ruben, you'd install the Neuralink in your brain by Elon. Oh man, my throat is acting up. It's gonna be Ruben's gonna be. I don't even have an Alexa. I don't think that he's doing as much as he says he's doing with the Neuralink stuff, dude. I really don't. I don't think that he's even close. A little bit. Not really. I mean, it's hard to like a sore throat for a kid isn't really. They don't really, tell you. It's so weird. Filters are so weird on this thing. Mediterranean man. What? It's so weird. It's so yeah. It's not snowing. It's not snowing. We actually had snow at the holiday party for our neighborhood, which is cool. Dr. T, they have weird AI summaries now for all the chat, so you can like come into like a YouTube stream and it tells you what people have been chatting about and like they keeping you on update. What's a popular take on modern medicine that gives you a psychic damage? What? I don't understand that. I don't understand what you're asking. uh, yeah, I should take some vitamin C. I should. It's actually not a bad idea. Ah. What? San Francisco. Hi. How's it going?
I did not mean to request up. I'm just trying to tap.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Bye. It's okay. Oh, all good. It happens. There it is. I found it. I found out how to do this on the on PC. This is great. I mean, technically, I don't think it's. Yeah, I'm feeling a little sick. Wanted to do like a panel. Oh God, guys, the South Carolina measles stuff has exploded. Have you guys seen that in the news? It's everywhere now. They're up to like hundreds of cases now. It's so bad. We've been monitoring that since there was 10 cases and there's like over 100 now. It's crazy. Yep. Yeah, of course. It's all unvaccinated people that live there. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, Kathleen, it's like 111 cases and like 105 of them are unvaccinated people. So it's like, what are you like in what? Oh, cool. Thanks, Miss Cake. 11 schools? Oh no. Stealth cats, you just want to get a titer. You would want to get a titer from the if you're in your 30s and 40s, it's a good idea just to get a titer just to see what you're missing anyway. I know, user, I agree. A titer is when they check your blood for antibodies that you have. So if you're missing something and basically that's like room that in your immune system that you could get vaccinated for. Nice. Good stealth. Nice. Hi, Dr. T. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Good. Feeling a little like sick, but whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's at least as of 2 days ago, it's 11 schools in the
Dang.
upstate area.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were
I probably send it to you. They've got the breakdown of how many students are in quarantine at each of these schools, and I know I messaged you, but it's worth pointing out that at least the way people treated some other times that people needed to quarantine around here, I promise that those same kids are sitting in Santa's laps while other kids come and sit in Santa's laps to take pictures or go to holiday events. So
wow, 303 people in quarantine.
yeah.
And 13 in isolation. Only 13 of the new cases are from known household exposures. One was from a neighborhood contact, and the other was from an unknown source still being investigated. So yes, there's community spreading. Then that's not good.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, when we first started studying it, it was 2. There was 2, and there was like over 100 that were quarantined. That's man. We were watching the
According to the local station, in that area, it's 303 people in quarantine, 13 in isolation.
wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the
and
South Carolina Department of Public Health.
Mhm. So I guess of the 126 cases, the main age group is 5 to 17.
I mean, we looked at the epidemiology report from Ontario in Canada, which was like the most populated outbreak center that they were having, and I was like, oh man, it has to be, the map was like right around Toronto, and I'm like, oh man, Toronto must be it, like there must be a bunch of Toronto cases, that's why it's so high, but it's not. It was 97% unvaccinated people in the rural outskirts of this, the suburbia basically, and they just don't get vaccinated, and they don't think that they need to, because they're not in a city or because they're more conservative, and there it is, but then a big city like Toronto's okay. It's wild. I know, if there's only a simple solution, if only we had a better idea. It's like, it's funny.
Only we've solved this.
Dr. Joe it was like, he was like, he messaged me. He was like, "What if I like rebrand the vaccine as like an all natural solution?" And I was like, "That's a good idea." So he made a video on it, and it was basically like, they've figured out a way in order to only expose you to a small amount of the virus so that your own immune system gets trained, so that you can learn how to, dream, like you can, fight it yourself, and you can train your immune system.
Right.
It's this brand new
Like
technology that they
5
just,
episodes,
that they just,
1999, all
yeah,
of a sudden.
exactly. Since, invented in 1796. Like, it's like, so funny.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mrs. Sundberg. How's it going?
It's going good. I do have a question for you, though.
Sure, I'll try.
So, and I really don't mean to be like passive aggressive or anything.
Sure.
But so I have been pro-vax my whole life, right? I have believed in them. I was raised up to do them, all the things. But then when I started giving my daughter, and we had this conversation a couple weeks back, but when I started giving my daughter vaccines, she ended up having seizures from them, which I know the seizures were not specifically from the vaccines itself. It was from like the side effect from her body fighting whatever it was that gets injected. But my question is there any circumstance where you believe that vaccines aren't necessary?
They're always going to, so basically every vaccine is safer and has less side effects than the virus and the disease that it prevents. So no, you're always going to side on the side of the vaccine, like every single time.
Gotcha.
It's always another way to put this. It's always the right decision in order to vaccinate your child every single time.
Gotcha. And so I shouldn't be worried with my other kids.
No, absolutely not. It should no. I would absolutely continue vaccinating your kids on schedule. The CDC, it's the original one that they had. I don't know how they're gonna change it, but right now it's completely safe. It's been vetted, not just by the United States but by other countries too, and you should definitely do it. And the idea is that your baby is vulnerable when it comes out, and it doesn't have the the robust immune system yet in order to deal with these really nasty diseases. So the idea is to get them the most amount of protection the earliest that they can.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, of course, as like a first-time mom, it's absolutely horrifying seeing your baby have
Hey,
seizures and stuff.
really quickly
Yeah,
too,
absolutely.
I wanted to piggyback off of that. I'm a father as well. I have two boys about to be 7 and 5, and just like Dr. Greg said, it is always better to absolutely vaccinate your kids, but you have to think, because if you find yourself in some other spaces, you'll hear people throw around words like herd immunity or natural immunity or things like that, and you have to ask yourself, are you willing to experiment on your baby? Because when those people are saying those things,
You cut out there. You said when people are saying those things, and then you cut out.
when those people are saying those things, they're not talking about their babies. They're talking about other people's babies. So you have to ask yourself that question. Are you willing to take the risk with your baby getting sick and potentially passing away? Or as a parent, do you want to try to do everything that you can to give them the best chance they have to survive,
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Because RFK vaccinated his kids. Robert Malone vaccinated his kids. He actually grifted the entire thing about him being the inventor of the mRNA vaccine, which he wasn't. But and then that he went around saying that it isn't safe, but he himself did get the RNA vaccine. So it's like,
Yeah. And I want to point out, because one
I
of the
think we're
things
getting some feedback, Mrs. Sundberg. I don't know if anybody else can hear that.
Yeah.
one of the main things that the anti-vax people love to say is that putting vaccines in your baby is experimenting on them. But that's actually, it's opposite. They're taking it and they're saying something that's completely opposite, because unless you go sign your baby up for some trial for these pharmaceutical companies, these vaccines have been tested on other people who willingly signed up to be experimented on. Your baby is not being experimented on. And if you choose to not do that, that's the experimentation. And that's taking advice from people who usually have absolutely no education to even understand the basic mechanisms in which, these things work, or how they spread,
so
or
true.
how dangerous they really are.
It's so true.
We talk to people
My
regularly who
husband,
deny that
he's
viruses
literally
even
the same
exist.
way.
Sorry, what did you say, Mrs. Sun? Can't see the rest of your name.
Oh, you're fine. It's Sundberg. I was just saying that my husband says the same exact thing. He says that he'd rather try and know that he made like the best judgment call than to not try. If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. What's crazy? I saw a physician like erroneously like saying that they were a scientist or something, and I was like, is that? I was like, maybe this is part of the misconception that like people maybe think that like medical science is like happening to them with their physician or something. It's not. They're not like your physician when you go to get like your checkups. They're not like experimenting on you. Like, is this the thing? Like, people know that physicians aren't scientists, right? Like, it is completely separated, and like, unless you have an MD, PhD, and you're in a clinical trial, you're not being experimented on. It is something that's been tested and proven, and all the science has already been done.
Yeah, doctors have to learn like not thousands, but a ton of different diseases and symptoms, and they have to know the possible side effects of medication they give you, but all of these things are well tested, and they memorize them so that if there is something that might be going wrong, that they're like, oh, well, that symptom shouldn't be caused by the medicine. Maybe there's something going wrong here. So they are trained to even like be like, or even point out when they're making mistakes themselves, or point out their own mistakes. That's a better way to say it. Also, host, someone wanted to ask you your
Hi.
opinions on how the hepatitis B vaccine is no longer what's it called again? Required, like
Oh.
RFK.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's awful. I mean, the problem is that the United States just doesn't have a like 52% of hepatitis B exposures for kiddos under 5 are from like outside of vertical transmission. So it's like you basically are just exposing your child to something that could have like a lifelong condition, you know, and it's awful. I mean, there's no reason for it. No reason not to vaccinate. You definitely should be vaccinating at birth for Hep B for 100%.
You kind of joked about this earlier, but how long do you actually think until they'll like loop around back to like not medieval, but like old school vaccines where they would like cut you and put like
They already are.
Oh god.
I mean, they kind of do that with measles parties and stuff. That's like I've had people that are on here that were saying that unironically. They were like, "Yeah, my mom used to sell Tupperware, and then they would have like a Tupperware party when one of our kids had the chicken pox, and maybe we should do that again with measles and stuff like that." And you're like, "What?"
That's what I was seeing in a lot of the commentary. Is a lot of people that were it almost seemed like they were confusing how the chickenpox was handled with how they should handle the measles, or thinking that they were the same thing. And it was just like, again, those of us from a generation that got to go to chickenpox parties now get to enjoy, at least for several more years, the potential for shingles, because we're too young to get a shingles vaccine. I know, so the unintended consequences there as well.
Yeah, I got my chickenpox during Easter, I think.
It was a birthday party for me.
Oh, dang.
Dude, hearing how medicine was even like 30 years ago, I'm like, dude, this shit sounds medieval. Holy crap. The amount of medical advancements that have happened in like the past few decades.
I mean, really, yeah, like especially the last 10 years. I mean, if you just look at the 90s, you know, we barely understood anything about DNA. Our blood science was trash. Honestly, majority of the human health science was trash, especially with some of those analog instrumentations that things were going through. The limits of detection was horrible. It's absolutely crazy, you know.
I mean, everything was revolutionized with sequencing. You know, you just have like next generation sequencing technologies now, and now we can kind of understand the mechanisms of like disease and how it happens, and tracking it and monitoring it. It's just completely revolutionized how we understand things. And it's cool. I mean, it really is amazing. And then that kind of, it's a weird coincidence that kind of like next generation sequencing happens at the same time that CRISPR is kind of used as a technology, and they coincide so well, because it's like, oh, the sequencing allows me to understand the map and the map of where I need to go. You know, and that car that's going to take you there is the CRISPR, you know, that tool that's going to change that genome and make things different. We had base pair editors before, but nothing this modular and this easily evolved and everything like that. So it's such an amazing confluence.
I sent you that thing on the updated Cas9. They can tag it with a protein that keeps it from doing double strand cuts and still does single nucleotide changes.
Yeah, that's all. Like it's unbelievable. The prime and the base editing, they can do so much now with it. They pretty much, I mean, all of the David R. Liu papers and stuff they do whole genome sequencing to make sure that there aren't any off target the cuts, and there's zero. It's just like, it's not even a, you know, before with regular like Cas9, it was like, it was kind of overblown, but it was still a problem. I mean, we're talking like, it's hard to quantify because I wasn't doing next generation sequencing all the time, but like you'd basically, it was like a standard probability distribution curve where it's like you'd want to cut in the middle, and then like some of them would cut to the side, some of them would cut to this side, but most of them would cut to where you'd want. So it's like if you're deleting a gene, like, and you're just trying to chunk down something, right? You're trying to stop something, then it matters less. But if you're trying to do this precise base pair editing, I mean, you need to have that be 100%, and that's what they're doing now. It's unbelievable.
Definitely. I'm still new on this stuff. Like I just learned about the Echo R1 that leaves like the sticky end tags on it, like with one-sided strands on the cut. It's pretty cool.
Oh, for what? For Echo R1 Cas9?
Echo R1, it's a, I don't know if it's a Cas9 specifically, but it does cleave the DNA strands, but it's off center, so it leaves like a single-stranded tag on each side, and they just call them like sticky tags.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the double-stranded breaks are kind of weird. I mean, you can basically cause double-stranded breaks are more easily. You can fit more pieces of DNA inside them, so the repair mechanism that can disrupt a gene goes along that path. So you're kind of like incentivizing the worst type of repair mechanism, probably, and that's the idea there. Try to make it a sticky end so that we don't. Oh, hi, Dr. Rubin. How's it going?
Yo, everybody dropped when we started talking about molecular biology.
I know. What's up? This is.
I'm still
Yeah.
here.
This is nerd time. Yeah,
What's
Dr.
up,
T's
guys?
like, I love this stuff.
I count.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you doing, Flippy?
I'm doing great. How are you? How's your holiday going?
That's not going yet. My grades are due on Monday, so I'm in finals grading
Oh, nice.
right now. That's all right.
Nice, man.
I
reached
just
an hour
finished
where I
mine
wasn't
on.
going to keep reading them, so I needed a
Oh,
break.
damn.
Dude, for real.
I finished on Thursday, so I started this weekend, so I'm like chilling
Nice.
now.
Yeah. I'm almost done. I've got like 6 problems left on one exam and 9 on another. That's about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, grading was never my strong suit. I always like really I just had massive amounts of rubrics because there's no other way for me. I would just toil, like toil on like how, and it's always the ones that are the worst. You're like, why? How
Yeah.
can I give these people more points?
Right.
And I hate it. I
Right
hated it.
and blank are fast to grade. Right and blank is the
Yes.
in between that takes forever. 4 points or 5 points.
And it's
or
like,
something.
and I'm always like, and I had the worst case when these people, the whole point of this class, this is one of my first TA ones. The whole point was like, it was on a virus. Okay. So it was on a virus. Just do a report on a virus. Like, just don't go to Wikipedia. Read an actual review. I showed them how to do the review. I showed them how to find the review, how to read it. Take figures, just cut and paste it, put it on a slide. Like, don't put a bunch of copy and paste a bunch of text. Like, show us, like, and then tell us with our words. Don't just read off of a slide. Like, I walked through the entire thing for my entire TA section, and then this one group just went up there and did just copied and pasted Wikipedia. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, didn't have a single journal publication, didn't do anything. Hey, Ness. And I'm just like, dude, like, what in the world? And I just toiled. And I mean, at the beginning, I failed them. And then I came back and I was like, okay. So, and then I just started like giving them the worst grade of all the groups. But I was like, I'm going to give them a C, and of course they got so mad at me. And I'm like, you guys didn't follow the rubric at all. You didn't do anything. Like your presentation was obviously different than everyone else. And I was like up at night, like trying to like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what did I do? But it's like, they did this, I didn't do this. You know what I mean?
It beats you down when you spend more time grading a thing than they spent on the thing you're grading.
Exactly. That's so. It's exactly.
It tears you up.
Exactly.
Why am I doing this?
And you're trying to like, I'm thinking about myself, and I'm thinking about what I did wrong, what I could have done better. I'm asking my wife, like, is this fair? Does this make sense? And then of course, like one of the, the people that was they're pre-med, and this is the class that they need in order to get into med school, and now they're not going to get into med school because of me, and like all that kind of stuff. So then of course they went to
They're not taking it seriously. I appreciate you keeping them out of med school, but, like, I don't want to have that freaking factor.
I guess they're not going
Step it up, guys.
I guess they're not going to
Were you
epidemiology.
teaching like biochem and stuff, or what were you
This is
teaching?
microbiology. Yeah.
Oh, microbiology, fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I
it's
think it was interesting for me to learn that you didn't even have to have a biology degree to apply to medical school. Like that was a
Really?
wild thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Several. We had a computer science major that applied. We had like it's just
that's
wild to
cool.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that. People doing like law or
Do
something.
they just have a wicked MCAT score or something? Like, how do you do that?
Well, they had to go take the MCATs, but like depending on what you're doing, if I'm selling computer science in a way, that's somebody that's very attention to detail oriented. They did embedded systems with me at one point, so it was practicing with fine motor skills. They were actually interested in surgery. Like it was a whole thing that they could kind of sell in a very different way.
Interesting. Hi, Marissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hi.
is. It is.
That's super cool.
I actually would love to explain why that happens as somebody currently trying to get into med school. I have a non-trad degree, kind of, but they love when people do what med school wants to see is that you've done something that you're passionate about. And so for a lot of people that might not be chemistry or biology or microbiome, because typically when you choose a degree that you're going to really enjoy, you're going to do really well, and that's what they want to see. And so you have science classes that you must take, but as far as everything else, as long as you hit your prereqs, you get your patient care hours, your shadowing hours, your volunteer and your research hours, and you get a serviceable score on the MCAT, you can get into a med school without doing a traditional degree.
That's cool.
Yeah. One of my personal doctors, like after we got to talking about it, like their undergraduate was in like German, and then they went and did they just took whatever they needed to qualify for the stuff. I had just never thought about it. It was eye-opening. I was like, oh crap, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it's not something that you're personally trying to pursue, it does come as a surprise. You're like, oh, that's really weird, because you would think that the doctors would all have science undergrads. But like most of my stuff was like healthcare administration and public health, because that was what I really, really liked. And then I added all my science in, and yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I think. I mean, the medical school should be so all-encompassing that they are kind of like wrapping everything up in a little bow tie, and whatever they kind of like learn during undergrad obviously isn't going to be at that level, at that MD level anyway, so they're kind of like going over it again. So I guess that kind of like makes sense.
Yeah. And I know this tends to be a really scary word for a lot of people, but medicine loves diversity. They like people that come from all kinds of backgrounds with all kinds of educational and life experiences. It allows you to relate more to your patients and to understand more where people come from. So
interesting. That makes sense to me. I mean, that makes sense.
I wonder how that's going to be affected now that they're like stripping the like loans.
Yeah.
it's just going to push people more into personal loans. I try to remind people that there's so many options to get around that. Like there's like Johns Hopkins has a tuition-free medical school. A lot of the Ivy League colleges will
Oh.
cover tuition for families. Like if you come from a family that makes less than $200,000, you can generally get free tuition at an Ivy League school. And then Harvard and one other, I think it was MIT, recently they said if your family makes under like 100K a year, they'll pay your tuition, your housing, and your health care while you're in school.
Wow.
That's a really cool incentive.
Yeah, there's tons of tuition-free med schools. There's like HPSP, and there is a non-military option. Like the VA does HPSP, IHS does HPSP, and so you get all of your tuition paid and just give it back working in the community, either at the Veterans Affairs or the Indian Health Service or with Public Health Service. So
That's really cool.
yeah, there's so many great options.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of public schools myself. I mean, I went to public schools for my undergrad and grad, so, and a community college before that too. So, you know, I feel like those are like really cool options that are good. I mean, there were kind of like the really expensive, you know, private schools that, you know, was an option for me, but that my parents were just like, I mean, you can do that, but we can't help you at all do that. You know what I mean? That's like, so, but obviously what they're doing right now is insane with the professional degree stuff. And it's, I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm more upset that they left chiropractors on the list and took PAs
So
off.
true. What the hell, dude? So insane. It's,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's also giving a shout out to public institutions and whatnot. Even in the South Carolina public school system for K through 12, and then public school for undergrad, grad school. So just another shout out there.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I guess they left Doctor of Divinity on the professionals list too. But
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
gosh,
they
are you
kicked-
serious?
Yes, but they kicked PAs and PTs and OTs and social workers and
Finally.
off the list.
Finally. There you go.
So
We're
somebody made a
going
comment
after-
that
Go
I
ahead,
wanted to
Melissa.
address because I think there's a misunderstanding. So kicking those degrees off the professional list does not allow them to take out enough in federal student loans to cover their academics. It doesn't allow them to cover their full academics or any of their housing fees. And I know this because I was trying to go to PA school at first. And one semester of PA school is roughly $65,000 to $70,000, depending on where you go. And without the professional designation, you only get $20,000 a year, or it's like $20,500. So it covers less than half of what a semester or like a year of PA school is, and that goes pretty much for the rest of those degrees too. That they're extremely expensive degrees for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there like a need for physicians, and then like the bottleneck is the schools? Isn't that what's
Yeah.
happening?
We need healthcare people in all facets.
Uh-huh.
Nurses, PAs, NPs, physicians. Right now, I had just come across this statistic. By 2030, we are not going to have enough cardiothoracic surgeons to like cover the population. And it takes a really long time to train a cardiothoracic surgeon. And so they put up all of these barriers to get there. Like, we're running out of the people that we need to take care of our aging population.
Yeah. I guess it's like because of the amount of heart disease that we have is so like 400,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just listening to a cardiothoracic surgeon talk about it, and she was like, all my colleagues are getting ready to retire, and we don't have anyone coming in to replace them.
Dang. Yeah, it's tough, man. That's very tough.
Hey, if there's a shortage of surgeons, they can charge whatever for that, right?
I don't know that part. That sort of comes
I
down
feel like
to
that's
like
the
the
long game.
insurance
It's just-
companies and the hospital systems, like the for-profit hospital systems.
Mhm.
So it doesn't come down to like individual hospitals, but more like HCA, who's a big one that owns a ton of hospitals. Like they could dictate stuff like that for sure. But it would definitely mean that like you probably would have to do a lot more healthcare tourism.
Sounds like it boosts the economy, which is what all they care about.
Well, healthcare tourism away from the U.S. because you're gonna have to find somewhere where they actually have doctors
that's fair.
available.
Yeah, like Cuba, they like sent doctors out of Cuba when COVID hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a surplus of doctors.
Wow. Must be nice.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird, like what we incentivize and as a society. I don't feel like we're I don't know how to make it easier. I mean, we have less people. It feels like there's less people going to college now, or is that just a talking point? I don't know. Is there like what are the stats on that?
I think in
My
general,
school's got the most right now.
I think in general, maybe admissions are down, but I want to offer a humble brag for all the women in the live tonight that they outpace everyone in terms of getting degrees. So women from associate to doctorate, PhD, MD, all have the highest number right now. So those numbers are up, if that counts.
Yeah, no, it is. You know, there's a majority of women getting their PhDs in biology now. So I think it's cool. I think it's
cool.
awesome.
Oh, I love to hear
Some
that.
fields are still really, really low, though. I just want to
The computer
caution
science,
that because I
computer
am
science
in the
and
field
engineering.
that's probably the worst.
Yeah.
For when I finished, it was still like 20%, like
Yeah.
or less. Like it was still. So I just say that while some of it's getting better, there are certain sciences that start to bring that number up, where it looks like it's better in all of them, but it's not. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to be too
Physics and
anecdotal,
math
but
graduate more women than computer science does, just for context.
yeah.
Why do you think that is, Dr. T?
Because of the culture. Incels come from us. Like it's
Yeah,
a
that's true.
nasty culture. Yeah.
Wow, even to the PhD level or doctorate level?
Well, you're still dealing with I mean, PhD and doctorate level, that a lot of that system is meant for, the systems in general are still meant for your bachelor dude who's got nothing tied to him that can stay up all night and do whatever. As soon as you start to become non-traditional in any way with kids or married or whatever, those systems are sometimes harder to navigate, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And if you think about when most of these women would be in graduate schools are also like prime years if they are going to start families, like it becomes a choice at that point. That's interesting.
That's true.
Yeah, dude.
It's true.
The historical college enrollment is still up like year after year. I mean, it's like kind of plateaued. Huge jump from
Yeah,
20.
my college has record admissions right now for freshmen, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's good. I think that's good, but
Yeah, I think it is still even at the PhD level though, because I mean I definitely ran into colleagues, at least there's definitely problems here too, but as soon as you're in a field where you're running into colleagues in an international way, there are cultures that don't respect women, period. Like that I have to navigate. That was an interesting thing.
do you think it's like partly because of like video games? I mean, because video games are like more likely to be dudes, I feels like. I don't know. Like I guess like console and like computer games. I guess video games like in general is like once you get to like browsers and stuff, and then you get it's more broad. I realize that, but
I mean, gaming culture sucks ass. You
Yeah.
can go watch plenty of videos of just like as soon as a female or femme presenting gamer even
Yeah.
speaks, like it just becomes a crap show.
but do you think that translates into computer science like as a field?
I think it does more. Yeah. Not like I think that there's still a lot of undercurrent there for sure. Whether it's as visceral as like that gaming community, it's still the way people act or treat, or even just the, you know, the small things, leaving you out of meetings. Like it runs the gambit. It's just, I don't know, hard to explain. It's definitely still there. I am not going to say that it's gone or gotten. Yeah, you find there's a certain type of personality that learns to navigate it, and those are the ones that make it through. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think that there's a huge correlation with like revolutionary scientists and being a woman. Like I genuinely do. Like there's a huge, because you're already thinking about different solutions, different ideas, the problems, how you can like approach something differently, and then you can, because you have to like deal with so much questioning of yourself. Like, can I do this? Am I actually doing the right thing? When you're, you know, trying to, you know, pioneer a new field or something like that. You know, it's not easy. And I think that having that type of like stick-to-itiveness and that grit and stuff, I mean, that's just, you're basically selecting for women that have that, you know, men that aren't going to necessarily have that when they're in those positions.
I think what's interesting though with some of that is the minds that we're turning away and we aren't even accounting for. Like that, some of that culture still has to like shift, and it does take dudes hearing the toxic language of their friends when the other people aren't in the room to say something about it. It takes like having that pushback. And I think that, I don't know, it's a really interesting thing to try to navigate. I know when, you know, I got old enough at one point, a lot of people, I don't know, personality wise, my sense of humor people will vibe with from time to time, but it's also weird to recognize that my sense of humor was a defense mechanism. Like I learned my sense of humor to navigate my field so that I could blow off the uncomfortable advances or like whatever was happening. And so that's a really weird thing to like recognize later, but it is what it is.
Interesting.
That's why I'm starting my new nonprofit, Masculine Guys for Feminism, where we just like be tougher and bigger than our friends and call them out when they're
Boom.
a misogynist or whatever.
Boom. Megan, how's it going? I muted you as you were coming in just because you had like some mic stuff. Welcome in. That's an interesting defense mechanism. I'd never thought about that, Dr. T. It's tough. It is like tough. Yeah.
Oh, she dropped off.
But yeah, it's interesting. Just the amount of like pay. I was like talking to my physician friend today, and it's just like he's an anesthesiologist, and he just makes so much money. It's like crazy. It's so insane. And I'm like, damn, like what a weird path, because we were in the same like, you know, UCSD classes and all that kind of stuff, and you know, obviously, I mean, you know, medical school is amazing, and it's a huge contribution to society. Physicians are amazing. I'm not discounting that, but I'm just like, dang, it's just wild how much they get paid compared to other people that are trying to like legitimately better, you know, even within the medical profession, right? Like my wife has a DMP, you know, compared to the anesthesiologist, just like what is going on here? They're so, I mean, we're talking like orders of magnitude difference, you know? I mean, talking the difference between like 120, 150 and like 375, 400. Like it's like gigantic.
And then you get into like the CRNAs, man. Another master's level nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And they make, you know, $200,000-$300,000 a year.
Yeah. It's like nursing healthcare services has increased, and it's like the number one employer now all throughout the states. It used to be kind of like Walmart for the longest time, and then now it's like healthcare. Healthcare is like coming through.
I mean,
We
it
need
kind of
more
makes
healthcare
sense.
unions.
I think there's a movement to try to unionize some residencies too. Been
That'd be
seeing
good.
some videos of residents begging for a union.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
There was just a big lockout with Kaiser Permanente, wasn't there?
I have no idea any specifics. I'm still catching up. A lot of it's like super hush hush because you can get like kicked out of a residency and stuff. So I'm sure a lot of it is like they can't negotiate out in the open and talk about it
Well,
online.
that feels like it should be illegal.
I don't really know all the intricacies of it all yet. But I've seen some videos, like some people talking about it.
You were talking about grading earlier. What do you think of that Oklahoma University student?
Me?
Horrible situation.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard about that, Dr. Greg.
I had heard about it in passing. I don't really know about the whole scenario. I thought that there was like some essay that they did that was like completely unrelated to it, and then the TA gave
Right.
them a bad grade, and then now it's like they're martyring themselves for like whatever.
Right.
The
and
TA got
go ahead.
I'm sorry, the TA was let down as well from that. Like TAs don't have any type of protection. There's no tenure for them. So
There was
when the school made their initial reaction to it.
really that's crazy. Oh man, that's exactly
Well,
what happened to
It's a political
me.
stunt
That's
because
exactly
her parents. Her parents run like organizations that like specifically are litigious on this kind of stuff, and the TA happened to be trans, so it's like a target attack against him.
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I mean, that I was just talking about that, where someone came after me and tried to report me to the university because of my grading. They literally that was
From like
That's
an
wild.
academic standpoint, I read the paper and I was like, I just need to see what this is. That paper was terrible.
Oh, did they actually post it?
That paper was
Yeah,
terrible.
it's
yeah.
posted.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think it was
it's
the
public now.
organization that posted it. It didn't meet the word count, but also, I have never read such poorly structured sentences in a undergraduate level paper, especially like when she was a junior at the time. And by my junior year of college, I had a lot of papers under my belt at this point, you know? And she'd said in an interview that she had never had to write a paper before because she was doing all pre-med science.
Yep. And then her paper was 90% preaching and like 10% translate.
And like,
Yeah.
from an objective standpoint, there is a way that you can cite the Bible as a piece of literature. Whether we, however you feel about the Bible or not, there is a correct way to like cite it. But the problem is this paper that she wrote had no citations, not a single citation, did not try. The verses that she did mention were not correct as they're written in the Bible. So it was definitely not something that somebody would try to write for an undergrad. I think I would agree that this was probably more targeted.
Dude, the absolute worst are the undergrad essays when or like the lab anything. It's just there's just nothing there. There's words on the paper, but there's nothing there, and you're trying to read this and you're like, am I having a stroke right now? Like I have no idea there's no sentences here. And it's just like the most garbly thing, and I get it, like you're trying to, and I did the same thing, like just trying to fill the page and not trying to just get something done, and I've been there, but
It was more like an op-ed, or I wouldn't even say an op-ed. It was just kind of like something that maybe you would do like a thread on Twitter, perhaps.
oh, here we go.
The blog.
Yeah, just point out the font size and the spacing real quick. Like I'm assuming it might have
Yeah.
been double spaced, but it seems huge to me.
Oh, is this the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper? Hi, Amy. How's it going? Welcome.
Hey, it's
I think so.
We're gonna read the paper, I guess, or you can. Is this? Wait, is this?
You can do dramatic reading. You've got to do act it out. You have to.
Yeah,
Act it out.
And
interpretive
I don't know
dance.
if it sparkles in the chat or something. Says Google her mother after you read the paper because you got to see this family and their involvement.
Yeah.
What?
What's even crazier though is, so as all of this has happened, she got some kind of award from the state government in Oklahoma. And there's been a lot of stuff that's come out, right? And so OU is under extreme scrutiny right now, and like they're losing validity with their name. And so like people that have degrees from OU are like freaking out. They're like, oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to get a job with this degree now. The alumni are wanting to pull their funding. Like there's a lot of turmoil going on at the university level right now.
Yeah, read the rubric too because it's insane.
Okay.
Wait, I missed the beginning of this. What's the
It's the
summary of what?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, what's?
I'm sorry.
No, what's happening? I came in when you were half talking about it, so I missed. I'll go look it. I'll Google it. It's okay.
No. So there was a student submission for a paper that a TA was assessing, and the TA identifies as trans. They were doing some type of writing on a publication. It was supposed to be their assessment, I think, on the paper about some reading they were supposed to do, and instead the student went on this tirade about their religious beliefs and all this kind of stuff, and so they got a 0 on the project, and then the student is entirely blaming it on the TA, and that's basically what's happening.
Yeah, she called her governor before she called her teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, I did one of those was like I did this in like my sophomore year of high school. There was like a super religious like teacher, and she just constantly talked about Jesus and stuff in class, and it was very frustrating to me. And then I just went on like some tirade. I just needed to like fill in like the last page of like whatever, and I was like linking it in, and I was just like, talking about that, and she basically just like, circled it and then X'd it out and said like, this is just your opinion, yada yada yada. And which is true. I was just on a rant, and she didn't grade me. She graded me because of it. So then there was a poem section next, and we would get extra points for reciting it, and then extra credit points if we could recite it past 20 lines. So I recited all of Tool's eulogy about Jesus being a fake martyr. He needs to get off that space so we can nail the next full martyr and all that kind of stuff. And like I recited the whole song, which was like 100 lines, and I had already memorized it because of like because I had done that. So then she had to give me extra credit points for that, which helped me with my other grade in the other one. But yeah, that was a good time.
I always laugh though, because everybody that talks about things like faculty trying to indoctrinate students, I was like, if I was going to do that, then they'd read the syllabus. Like, it's just like they don't even do that. Like, what would my goal be?
I know, right?
Indoctrinate you into caring about this course, please.
Right, read some instructions, maybe.
As a perpetual student, I never read the syllabus.
I was also a student. It's like, if I was going to like ask, like if that was my one goal, like, hey, all that information of the things I have to answer, they're in there.
Yeah, I think they do syllabus quizzes all the time now. So
I would always ask my professor, like, hey, what about this? They're like, please, it's in the syllabus, please.
Yep.
Read it first and then ask.
Okay, so this
on the last day of school, I even had a T-shirt that just said it's in the syllabus. That's just what
beautiful. That is so true. So many emails about that. It's crazy. Like the amount of time that you're just like an admin, like emailing about like or talking about plane tickets already bought for like whatever this is, and you're like, I don't. The test is that day. I don't know what you're telling me this about. You know, it's like you're like, you have to take the test. I don't know what to tell you. You can't take it on a separate day because you have a family vacation. It's just the amount of stuff it's wild. Okay, here's go for it.
Go ahead.
No, go. Amy.
Oh, I always gave open book, open note, open collaboration tests. Is how I did my terms.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and what was great is that you could take a makeup by yourself with no notes and no help. Just take it alone in a room if you have to make it up some other time. But if you come on the final exam day, you can talk to anybody in that room except me. You can walk up to someone else and say, "Can I look at your notes? What did you get for this? What did you get for that?"
I've never heard of open collaboration before. That's amazing.
Open collaboration. They can walk and talk to anybody. And I started it with like, no, you got to be in groups of 4. And then I stopped controlling it because it ended up being really valuable.
The problems on that test must have been crazy hard.
They were just tricky enough, right? But everybody's trying so hard to get like the A. Everybody wants to have the best score, right? So even if they think they kind of know it, they talk to everybody else, and that starts to sway them. Oh God, I thought this one was right. I thought it was B. Wait a minute, why are you doing C? Okay, wait, and then they just talk about it for like 20 minutes.
That's
Even though it's a straightforward question. It's like
debating.
What is this term? And they're like, because somebody else disagreed, and they're starting to get a little insecure about their own answer. And I warned them, look, someone's going to argue you out of what you really knew was your right answer. If you don't know it, you're going to be swayable. So they would just make these cases, and I'd hear them all talking, discussing. And I got to tell you, I got a lot of feedback about that. Like even years later, students would come up and they'd say, I actually remember the stuff I had to know in your course because I absolutely had to talk about it externally and kind of defend it and wonder about it. Right?
That's cool.
Yeah. And so
it teaches real engagement, like critical thinking on the topic. So
yeah, and it was simple. It was simple stuff. It wasn't like super deep. Applied this theory to that thing. It really wasn't just a normal class. I'm in a psych department. I taught sometimes that would be basic psych, but I wanted them to because it might be the only psych class they ever get, and most people don't have the owner's manual to the human brain, and they never get therapy. And I wanted them to have something that they took kind of forever about some real stuff about how people are. So I tried to make it like that, and I'm like, all right, I'm just doing open book, and I thought I'd get all A's, and nope, it was the same distribution as everything else. And sometimes like everybody was swayed by one dumbass who didn't know the answer to something, they all believed him, and they all got that one wrong. So
see, I just run into like I never do the open book, but I do like a note card because otherwise they waste time. They waste so much time because they don't really prep. At least that's been my experience. When they have that access, it's like, okay, I'll be able to find it. And so at least with a note card, they have their like little their little extra if there's something they can't remember. But then you still have this much time because in a 50-minute course, I can't.
That's true. That's true. And I'm talking like final exam when they had that big old block, right? And then what would happen is the ones who were kind of writing on the others, just like, oh, I don't know, and they would all of the social forces would be there. They would be like, oh, so yeah, what do you think it is? And they'd be like, oh, I was just wondering what you thought it was. And they're like, okay. And they would just not collaborate with that person, and they would not discuss with that person. So like they kind of had to show value. They had to show that they had also contributed stuff.
That's so
people
cool.
were shunning. Yeah, it was really neat to watch. I would just stand there and watch. And one of them broke the rules once and said, you didn't say we couldn't ask everybody at once. And I'm like, oh shit, you're right, I didn't. And so one of them came up to the front of the stage and just asked everybody, okay, what'd you all get for number 1?
Genius.
They all, as a class, discussed it. But I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. I should have made a rule. I had to let it go.
That's good.
Next time.
They were smart. They outsmarted me, but it was
that's good because then you literally have someone teaching the class what it was and why. That's actually amazing.
And someone in the back's like, "No, I don't think so, man. That's not what I think."
That's amazing. That's
wow. I would just sit back and go, and I would go, or I would recognize, like, you know what? I actually did teach that. I taught it that way. That's not actually right. Wait a minute. Like, I remember saying it that way. I remember that anecdote. That's not quite what I meant for them to take away, but they all took it. So I would just strike that off the test. I'd be like, that's me, man. That's obviously me.
Oh, that's so
you guys
funny.
Did that one. That's fine. Yeah, it was really neat. It really felt like more rewarding than the Scantrons that I was supposed to.
That's really interesting.
I mean,
I always loved having tests that I could use resources with. Because I found like I had to get a high GPA. Like my sights were set on med school, and I was like, I have to have a high GPA. And sometimes it comes at the cost of like actually absorbing the material and like actually learning and being able not to just like regurgitate, but like to understand it.
Yeah.
But anytime I had tests where they were like, this is like open resource, open book, take your time, you have like 3 hours to do this exam. I did all my education's all online, but I did so much better when I could pull my textbook and like, okay, I know this, but not enough to pick this answer, and flip to the part of my textbook where I read and I'm like, oh, I see, like I remember that now. And then afterwards going into like especially for chemistry, Gen Chem 1, horrible, struggled so hard. But Gen Chem 2, like I had worked like that through our exams because they were like open note, that by the time I got to Gen Chem 2, I was like, okay, I remember this actually very well.
And I really, I wanted that. That's what I wanted that to be the lasting, result. And I didn't have that as an undergrad, and I also cared about my GPA, and I really didn't take courses that I knew I would definitely struggle in, and that ends up being really unfortunate because I cut out interests that I had because I didn't want to risk a B or whatever. That is just not the way to do that. But
Yeah,
I did. That's what I did.
Transactional thing.
It's what I did. I needed the grades. I needed to get into the grad school I got into. So like, but I'm sorry for that, and I didn't want that to be at my hands.
I struggle. We are already just fighting in my area. I'm fighting so much, just the escapism of trying to get away from critical thinking and sitting in a hard problem is something that a lot of the students don't want to do for more than 5 minutes, and then AI is just too tempting. And like that's really what I'm seeing, and it's genuinely not somebody that is using AI to study. They are just using it to copy and paste because I can see the patterns on my homework assignments. I can see over a pattern of time that like, oh, you are supposed to be practicing some of these concepts, but you're getting them right on the first or second try for every assignment. That is you using AI to copy and paste. That's not like you tried something 15 times and then needed to go look up a resource. Like,
Right.
It's beyond. And so that's extremely frustrating. My institution already had two cheating cases of people bringing in Meta glasses on their exams.
What?
That was another, So I
That's
actually had to like
wild.
make a blanket announcement about like, no smart or wearable tech during the exams. I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous, but you could almost envision that at some point I have to go, here's your testing uniform.
Yeah.
Go change out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You do it all inside of like a shower or something with your clothes on and a wetsuit on. You have to in a interferon cage or something.
It's beyond. I like had a mini meltdown about that.
Oh man.
I didn't realize people were using AI so much until like we got this notification from the university I went to, and they were like, they showed how to cite ChatGPT, and I was like, what the hell is that? And then
That's
I was like,
wild.
oh, this is like an AI model, like a platform, LLM, and people. It was my first time ever seeing this. Like, I didn't pay attention to AI as it was coming out, and they made this whole thing about how to cite ChatGPT. And
Yeah.
it turns out that ChatGPT hallucinates a lot.
A lot of them.
Especially the early models. I mean, I was graduated with my PhD in 2023, so it was like during that time. I know, Dr. T, I saw that. We have the same like PhD anniversary.
That's right.
Oh my God, I feel so old.
I was an older student too, but anyway. But anyway, I was writing my thesis, and I'm like, of course I'm not going to use ChatGPT. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm an author. Like, I am like this. These are my thoughts. This is my contribution to the world. Like, I have my own. I actually am really proud of. Like, I've learned how to like writing because I have a writing process, and I learned my writing process. So I actually kind of enjoy writing now, and so people were talking about that, and I was editing other people's like dissertations and stuff, and they would just be like this is what my section is, and then I'm like, what's all this stuff in like the blue font? And they're like, oh yeah, that's just like the ChatGPT paragraphs that I'm, like thinking about and trying to put in. And I'm like, what? You're thinking about putting in like random paragraphs, like, and trying to put things in, and it was just like, imagine like cutting out, like, it's like a Tetris game, you know what I mean? You're just kind of like putting in like the little pieces where they fit, and I'm like, none of this is working.
Well,
None of this makes any sense.
We didn't
when
have any of this when I was doing it. Yeah.
even on this app, I had like I was like Ducray, and there was a whole group of us that like I was actively doing lives and stuff, body doubling while I was doing my writing and getting some my last set of experiments in. Mainly my writing I got off this app. If I could give any PhD student advice, is like sometimes you do have to like draw back from something that can be a distraction, especially when you're looking for an excuse not to look at it. Like that, this became like I had to cold turkey and get it done, and then I could come back. But I had some really good support friends there that would check in. Anyway, all that to say, the amount of people that would just tell me to go use it, and I'm like, at that point, it seemed so long to get to that point. I was like, I am not going to have a single soul question whether or not that was my work.
Yeah,
I am.
exactly.
That is, those typos are mine. Like,
That's a good
every
point.
single bit of it. Like I'm, and it's sad to think that like I might be part of one of the last cohorts that was like the thought process.
Yep.
But I mean, even still talking, I was just talking with my my former advisor on Friday. I mean, and he's still very much against like people generating a lot of text for papers and things, just because you're putting in the ideas that have yet to be published that then can be fed to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the opposite of scholarship. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you're
How long?
especially in science, like word choice matters so much. Like when you're actually making something, like that is so scary, like how you say something, like how confident you are in your results or the introduction and how you set up the problem. Like, man, that could be like that can like mean like a lot.
And then it like messes up the machine or the systems that they run our papers through, like Turnitin and Grammarly, and like because they've had to shift and now try to cover this AI stuff, it messes up. Like Turnitin will basically flag anything you write as AI, and it's like, this really probably could be, and you're like, no, this is a quote from a scientific journal.
Right.
This is
and
not
I
AI.
naturally use M dashes. Fuck off. I mean, come on.
I know,
Oh,
same,
yeah, that too.
same.
Not anymore. Yeah, I use semicolons. Not anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Semicolons are my favorite.
Strictly using end of sentence citations flags as AI.
Oh God. How long has so you guys were dealing with ChatGPT recently.
What's
I
up,
didn't think it
Hannah?
had been around long enough to be in you guys' school.
No, it
graduate
came
school.
out.
It's just at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it at least came out right there at the end. It
Oh,
Like
wasn't.
the last year.
Yeah.
2020.
How's it
I
going,
just
Han?
graduated
What's up, man?
earlier this year, and it was like a big deal.
I think it's Hex.
Hex.
Yeah, but they said
Hex?
2023, so they'd be doing it from 2020, 2019.
Oh, it's been around since
2018.
2021, 2020, but it didn't
Okay.
boom until 2 years ago.
Okay.
Also, yeah, hey y'all, 30 any pronouns. I used to work at University of Richmond, and then I got pushed out. So it's been really scary in that, at least the private sector. I don't know how y'all operate, but yeah, the faculty are very nervous.
Yeah.
Huh.
Understandably.
In like all departments, or is it like?
Well, they disappeared a dean. Kash Patel also went there. So did James Comey. So the FBI is like super involved. My email's being tracked. They asked me to not step foot on the university because they're worried that I might say something, because I will. And yeah, the whole debate team is having a whole different scandal. So it's really fun.
Is it because Richmond's near DC? Is it that kind of a thing, or is it?
Not really. I think it's just leftovers from the 2020
Yeah,
BLM because that was the epicenter, basically. Like,
right.
that was the
I'm in
capital of the Confederacy.
California. I'm not sure what's happening here, but I'm Californian, so far so good.
Well, and that's what's so disappointing now is that it feels like everywhere else is doing shit, but Richmond is quiet, and it makes me so nervous. So I don't know what academia looks like for y'all, but I got sick of it because everybody's comfortable. Nobody wants to talk about it, especially if you're
Yeah,
tenured.
I'm not appointed, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
out of
didn't do a
touch.
postdoc. I went to biotech. So yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I wasn't opposed to like staying in academia, but I just didn't feel like they don't make it easy to stay. So it's very tough, and especially in bio, it's like you got a postdoc for like gone are the days of the
Oh, wow.
2-year postdoc. We're talking like 4 to 6 years. My friend, I mean, it's at Berkeley, so it's like whatever, but he had to postdoc for 8 years until he got a position
Wow.
there. So
That's crazy.
which is like,
That's wild.
that's like,
Well, and
It's a trap.
yeah, you're just, yeah, at that point, bro, you're just
you're
like,
poor forever.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're living, you're squat, you got squatters' rights for, like that's so long.
In your office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that there was an age cap. I mean, not an official age cap, but there's an age cap for um, jobs after graduation. I'm non-traditionally aged, and so when I was done, I then informally found out that, doing job talks and whatever, that they don't tend to hire people who are not traditionally aged because you just don't have enough scholarship life left. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, sorry, what? Like, I'm finding this out now. Sorry, what?
that's
Um,
wild.
Yeah, apparently your
so
brain expires.
I mean, they
Yeah.
just won't get enough time. Like you're forced retire at 65. They're like, well, we'll take somebody who's 29. So we have a whole long time of scholarship, a lot of grants coming out of this person. If we're gonna pick, we're gonna pick someone else, not somebody who's already
Jeez.
most way through. I started grad school at 40, so
Wow.
since I started at 40, I was I don't know how old I was, 48 or whatever when I stopped. So like they just weren't even considering
Oh,
anybody at
wow.
that
I
age
mean,
anywhere.
it's also scary
I
though,
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know.
even if you aren't all out that bracket, like I don't know, assistant prof right now. So like the the grants that were removed for even availability for me, or I know several folks as well that had stuff that got like revoked. That whole mess. I almost feel like survivor's guilt getting out of a PhD program because I had to suffer through COVID and some other things. And it's like I just missed the issue of like grad students losing funding because grants were pulled. Like, or the schools not knowing. Like that I feel for so many grad students
Yeah.
having to
Yeah.
navigate.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many people that even come in here that had their programs slashed and like they couldn't go to grad school because of like what's happened in the last year, and it's wild. I mean, I have a friend that's in the grant program at UCSD, so he's like a program manager, so he kind of like helps them with their grants and stuff. I mean, apparently it's somewhat okay now, but I don't know. Apparently, some of it is being let out, like they are like funding it, but who
But it
knows?
depends on what the grant was for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. Yeah.
No, nothing DEI or anything like that related. There's actually a New York Times article talking about it. It's about 30% less like coverage in general, but it's bad. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, anything related to like anything with sociology, basically. You're like they're cutting.
God forbid we learn how to think and communicate.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm not thinking I'm going to be doing a master's right away after I finish my bachelor's in 27. It's just like I don't know if there's going to be the funding there or whatever. I'm going to have to take like a gap and then try to do a PhD after that, maybe.
Dude, I think master's is worth it very
Never
rarely.
get a master's.
I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never. Yeah. I mean,
Unless it's a terminal master's or a practical, like journalism, something that the master's itself is enough and you get a job
Education
after it.
works.
Yeah.
Or if you do a PhD and then you just quit after
You quit at the that's what you should
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
should-
said.
You should go for the PhD and quit. It's free.
Yeah.
As a
Masters are
different
like $50,000.
Sure, as a different point of context too, like I entered a program where you were a direct entry PhD student, but we also had the option of a master's en route. So as soon as you finished the coursework required for the master's, I just was able to apply for graduation formally and then stayed on my PhD track. But it allowed me to go teach full time when I had a bit of a break, or I had my PhD advisor at the time left and went to another institution, and I could not follow because I had a kid. So like that was a nice safety net to have, and you don't know what comes up in some of those years too if you have that option.
It's true. And yeah, and I had to do our process was that you do the coursework and you did the dissertation proposal. You could do another work, a thesis, and turn it in and get your master's. But I didn't really want to do another thesis. I was like, well, it wasn't just a default get. I had to do a whole different project. I'm like, well, I don't want to. What do I need a master's for? I'm gonna finish. So I just was like, fuck it. But I might not have. I was at risk of quitting at any point. That would have been.
Yeah, because it became a good safety net. That wasn't the intention initially when I went in, but
I
once
don't
I
think I'd
finished
be
the
doing
coursework.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, go ahead.
I'm a chronic interrupter, sorry. It's that ADHD.
Familiar.
Anyway, I wouldn't be doing my master's if it wasn't paid for. But
Is
I mean,
that
why
degrees
not,
on that chart?
Yeah, this is the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowships. So, but then they're looking at the life sciences. That's NSF GRFP, but I was looking at the actual grants before. Here we go. Number of grants. So minus 46% for sociology, basically all the social, behavioral, and economic sciences. Minus 36 for biology, minus 35 for geosciences, minus 30 for STEM education, minus 28 for computer science, minus 17 for engineering, minus 17 for math and physics, minus 13 for technology innovations, and plus 55% for office of the director. I don't know what that is.
Ew. It's probably like HR fluff, like business crap, which I have opinions.
Yeah, it's so this is the number of grants that were funded. So we're down like in total minus 25%, and the funding amount in total is about minus 18%. But this is just for NSF?
This country's imploding. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's only 9 billion. Yeah, it's just the NSF.
Well, once you have that like weak
Oh, here's NIH. Never mind.
weak brick in the foundation too, though, like as soon as Columbia folded, like that's you start seeing the folds.
This is NIH and NSF. Okay. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy that only Harvard fought it. I felt like I thought that was at least that they did, but man,
Did Penn do something real quick? Or I thought Penn had a statement, or maybe I'm just associating that with Luigi.
Oh, here's the NIH specifically. So minority health minus 61%, nursing minus 51. This is number of grants. Again, genome, alcohol abuse, mental health, integrative health, library of medicine, all down 40 to 30%. Aging, diabetes, neurological disorders. Like it's just like what's like why? I mean, I don't get it.
This admin is
because they need to give that money to ICE.
And ironically, dude, I mean, this whole NIH budget is nothing. It's $8 billion. It's $9 billion. That is nothing. That is nothing, dude.
Welcome to war.
ICE went from 10 to $150 billion. Like, are you kidding me?
Okay, so do y'all ever, and clearly I'm going to be biased because I studied philosophy, but I think it's Russell who was around World War II and was like, I can't be in academia anymore. We're in a war, everyone. Stop. It's so that's kind of how I feel as well. Like the hoity-toity theoretical stuff, I just can't take seriously. I don't want to teach children about old dead white men when we're trying to figure out how to have democracy.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I think I think that you have the professors that just reflect kind of like what's going on, and they should like teach what's happening. You know, you have to have like some type of reflection on like what an applicability of what you're learning versus like kind of like staler material. So like for my microbiology class when I taught it, I was like I would use someone else's slides because it was my first time teaching. So and they only had like a paragraph, and this was like in 2022, 2021, about the pandemic, about COVID-19. I'm like, what? Like, so it's a microbiology class. We should definitely do that. So I made it like an entire week. So 3 entire lectures, you know, and, you know, I was just like, well, this is like the biggest event of your life. Why would we not like, you know, bring this into the fold and like, let's talk about that. So then on the final, they had to, in order to get the right answer, they had to say that lab leak was not correct, which that was very nice. So
Good, yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that's important because people need to know how the world actually works because the propaganda is insane. Freaking RFK is driving me nuts.
Truth.
Oh boy.
Watched your video on it. I've seen a bunch of papers on it, but what didn't they have like in 2021? They were already saying that it was a zoonotic source.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the bats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was raccoon dogs and bats that carried it from the vendors.
Yeah, Picard and Warraby 2022. Those were like the main papers, and then 2024 was like the big Chris Christoph paper. And then there's another Warraby paper in 2024. But anyway, there's been like a dozen publications now, but even since the sequencing of the genome in, I think it was January 2020 or February, maybe end of January, early February.
Yeah, it was right before the shutdown.
Yeah. We knew that it was like probably zoonotic spread. I mean, there's like the chances plummeted pretty much immediately. You would see like a ton of different promoters and basically scars. If you're like doing molecular biology for something like that, you'd be able to see it really easily.
Right.
So once that wasn't there, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, we knew within the first couple of months, I would say, like with a 90% interval within the first 6 months, 95, and then a year like 99.
Yeah, the way they were talking about it in the first year, you would think the lab was like across the street from the wet market, but it's like, what was it, 26 kilometers or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like 15 miles, and it's not even a really high trafficked area. So like what that means is if you were just randomly a Wuhan Institute of Virology worker, you're going to most likely go to the most trafficked areas, you know what I mean, in the place, and just doesn't go there. It's like a super, super small, you know, low trafficked area. It's like it doesn't have any other, and you can do the spatial analysis to see where the center of all the cases are, and it's the wet market. It's not the Institute of Virology. There's just like a bunch of like, and by the way, it's actually, we know this by genetics. There's 2 separate strains that outbroke 1 week from one another. So whatever you think the improbable event is of the lab leak, it has to actually happen twice. So it has to be one after the other on 2 completely separate genetic strains at the same time. It doesn't make any. I mean,
well, it's almost always sanitation and hygiene. Like the plague was the same way. People just didn't wash their hands, and then they blamed the Jewish population because they actually washed their hands. So, yeah, that whole establishment, and I don't like how the Chinese government handled it.
Mhm.
But we need to really revisit the basics. Because yeah, also Italy had issues because they're kind of gross.
Yeah, I mean China. So China, I mean, basically, if there was a conspiracy, it would have to have been concocted with the Chinese government leasing the WHO. But even still, because there were like people that went in there, sampled, and then gave the samples to the WHO. There was like a weird incident, like in 2022, 2023, the Chinese government scientists accidentally put data on a public web server and all their genetics and all their population genetic stuff. So it was like everyone downloaded it real quick, obviously, and then they removed it. So it was obviously a mistake. And basically it conflated everything with what we already know. It correlated perfectly. So it was like, yeah, it would have to have been even, the conspiracy grows even taller. You know what I mean? It's even higher.
Well, the response that South Korea had and New Zealand had was also proof that like we can manage it if people just do what the fuck they're supposed to do, but freaking United States can't listen to directions.
South Korea is a really good. South Korea is a really good.
I mean, they were a little too aggressive, but like, I mean, it worked. It sure did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you just look throughout like our entire education system, whenever we try to do group projects, it ends up being shit show. So they're just practicing the thing they've practiced their whole life. Like one person that does it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that China has like the civil rights thing aside. Like, I mean, they have what's going on, right? How they handled it.
It's amazing.
Well, I mean, in terms of like the trains for sure, but also I mean the shutdowns and all that kind of stuff. They actually shut down versus the United States, which didn't. And then, but the point is like they did share a lot of information like with the world and the WHO and like that kind of stuff. They actually did manage that stuff like pretty well. I feel like, how they reacted to the physician that first like whistle blew it. That's like its own thing, but I think that they actually did okay of a job, and it's actually really integral that we actually worked well with China so that they will listen to us, or like we can work with them if there is another outbreak, or for environmental sampling, or like there's just so much reason in order to work together.
Well, because Obama did that with Ebola, and I mean, it's just so stupid that people didn't learn from the first term, because why would you cut funding to the CDC? Whatever, we're here now.
Yeah, I mean, he basically cut the CDC pandemic response plan just because of like Obama said that it was cool. It was actually created by George W. Bush. He was reading something about some pandemic response thing and realized that we don't have one. So then he comes in and reads a book and completely changes the CDC afterwards. Bye, Marissa. Thanks for coming in. What in the world?
Travesty. Whatever. I mean, we're supposed to go to the moon apparently, but I hope we survive.
As a base, you mean?
Well, sure, because they're supposed to decommission the ISS, but my understanding is that they're also supposed to kind of replace it because it's old. We also have an inordinate amount of satellites. Just with SpaceX alone makes me nervous, but with Neuralink and all that shit. But yeah, like, I don't know. I figure, especially if we're going to exhaust all of our resources here and mine asteroids, like, we have to go to space.
Yeah, that was crazy. What was going on with those guys? That was so crazy. They were doing green screens,
that was
and then
weird,
Dr.
glitchy.
T's your thing like was coming up. I was like, is this like a bot thing? Were they like?
That seemed like a trolling thing.
Yeah,
it was a troll.
That was on purpose. That wasn't a glitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And for that,
kids these days.
Yeah. Like, oh, very weird. Yeah, thanks for coming up, Marissa.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the close approach from that new Atlas 3i or whatever is supposed to be on the 19th, by the way.
Yeah. It's like Rapture Part 2.
Yeah,
Dude,
but it's going to be like
Yeah.
twice the distance from the Earth to the sun, so it's not that close.
dude, the whole like finding RNA, like nucleotides for the RNA, like on that asteroid
Oh,
is
on
like
Bennu?
blowing my mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it is actually so sick.
I guess I'm not that surprised because once I learned about tardigrades, I was like, well, anything's possible.
I guess I never really thought about the whole idea of like the Earth being seeded with life and stuff. You know what I mean? I never like really considered that as a strong possibility, but I guess I have to.
So my conspiracy is that I think not it's because what is it, Luca, the last common ancestor. I think that came from Venus, and Venus was involved with Theia, which is what crashed into Terra, the Earth, and then made the moon. But again, that was like 4 billion years ago. So it's just been floating around for a while.
From my understanding, Theia impacted like a proto-Earth, and that's what formed the moon and the Earth. Like, I know that Venus was involved.
And so I think that, but that, I mean, the Big Bang happened, what, 14 billion years ago or something? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And so I think it's been
13.8.
clanking around, and then it settled about a few billion years ago, which feels ridiculous to even conceptualize, but why not? So yeah, if RNA exists on an asteroid that's related to our solar system, why not? Sure.
Yeah, we're a third generation solar system, most likely, based on our like composition of atoms.
Interesting. Dude, what in the world? I'm like looking up this.
So I'm not like gonna say it is panspermia, because I think panspermia is just abiogenesis on other planets as well. But it is noticeable that like Bennu had the serpentine rock, which is also associated with like hydrothermal vents. So
yeah. So I think the water as like not microbiome, but just if there's water involved or some sort of fluid, there's life involved in some way, shape, or form too. But that's a little bit more sci-fi. But I don't know. We also aren't there like moons on Saturn or Jupiter that we're like, nah, that's probably going to be a thing in like the core, because why not?
I think you're thinking of Europa, which has like a liquid ocean on it.
Yeah.
It's like below the ice or whatever. They're trying to develop a probe for that too. That'll drill into the ice and be like a submarine.
Is it? I thought it was BENNU.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, BENNU.
Okay.
So what RNA is it that's on this asteroid thing?
It's just like
all 5 nucleotide bases. So it's RNA and DNA technically, because it has the uracil and thymine.
Interesting.
Dude, that's just crazy to me that we can actually like land something and get samples off of it on an asteroid that's flying through space. That's so cool, man. That's wild to me. How fast that thing's going, and where it's like shooting a bullet at a bullet. You know what I mean? Boom, like getting it, and they have video of the actual extraction of the sampling.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. It seems to like they just like they come down, and then immediately just like touch off. They don't like
get to work. Yeah, they don't waste any time.
Boom, and then they're out of there immediately. I would have thought that they would have chilled, take some pictures, like figured some stuff out, but
probably yeah, because it's going so fast.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess it's like they're hitting it, but look at that. It's like matched its speed perfectly. That's so crazy. Why did they pick this one? Like, what was the idea of finding this?
So we have another moon? Don't we have like 4 right now? But they're not like moons. They're just little satellites that orbit. And apparently there's like moons that exist, which is just a fun, silly fact. But I'm a little worried about the asteroid in 2032. That's the only one that's like on my radar of like, but also whatever. It's 7 years in the future, and
Does it say why they selected Bennu, by the way? Because I don't know why they selected it. Like, I don't do astrobiology.
That's a good question. Hi, Susie. How's it going?
Hey, it's going. I'm stuffing my face with a sandwich right now, but I'll be visible shortly.
Okay, cool.
Y'all had me at RNA and DNA and all that good stuff, so.
There you go.
Yeah, and the most recent
and
showed it
space,
had ribose
space.
and glucose.
Sorry. The fact that
Yeah.
space is involved.
I was gonna say I don't know if they're still up, but I invited Jorge because I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
he'd be happy to
dude.
jump.
Peter
Yeah,
Thiel.
Jorge might know why they picked Bennu.
Oh, good. Another psychology person. Hi.
Oh, me? Hi.
Hi.
Sorry.
I'm
Listen,
the.
I
I'm
just
the.
really wanted this sandwich for a while. It's not like a regular sandwich. It's like my own gourmet sub sandwich, okay? I was very excited about it.
No, I'm just like another psych in here. Yay.
Yeah, I get nervous
I'm not
like
the
that.
biologist. I'm not the biologist. I'm always like, I don't know what you're talking about. But,
I like when like the psych nerd stuff can like connect because like we know things. And we can
Exactly.
tell each other like funny science nerdy psych jokes that like, hey, are you broke as aphasia? You took my, oh my god. There's a whole thing.
just speak like you have broke us, and then
We'll just do like cheesy psych pickup lines later. I'm gonna eat my sandwich.
deal.
Hey, Shelly, how's it going? That's only a third of a mile. 1,600 feet wide in diameter.
It's kind of tiny, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy that it could actually land something on there. I'm so blown away. I know it's like the most
Look at
easy.
the size of that thing the probe that they touched it with. Like, look at the size of that. It's pretty big.
Oh, interesting.
They have pictures of like the scientists like standing next to it after they dropped it. It's in like an isolation chamber because obviously we want to like keep the contamination away because they're trying to test it for prebiotic chemicals.
Yeah. Is this
Good thing the moon landing is fake and the Earth is flat.
Wait, what now?
No, I just think it's funny that people still believe that in the year 2025.
Yeah, exactly.
Firmament. It's a firmament.
Well, how could I look straight ahead of me if the Earth was round? Come on now.
Well,
Bro,
they're
look at the-
literally on a device saying it wouldn't function mathematically.
Why is all the water still sticking to the surface? That's what I heard.
Why haven't I fallen up?
When you take a tennis ball that's soaking wet, you throw it, all the water spins right off. That's my evidence.
Whoa, what? What in the world? This is the touchdown on Bennu. Oh, okay, so it's orbiting. We have this thing orbiting the Earth, and then it's just gonna. Oh, it's gonna be taken. Wow. That's
You
fascinating.
say that, and I imagine me and Milton like on this thing trying to fight an alien for taking something.
This is the trajectory within the solar system. Dang, dude, this is incredible. That's so cool. I mean, it makes sense, but like,
Shelly, can you mute? Oh.
yeah. That's wild, man.
Wait, Bennu is the asteroid? Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
In January
Is it
2025,
in
it was
our asteroid
reported
belt?
that a wide range of carbon and nitrogen-rich organic compounds have been identified in samples returning from Bennu. including 14 of the 20 amino acids that make
Oh,
up
that one.
proteins in
Yeah.
terrestrial organisms, as well as 5 nucleobases that are the essential building blocks of DNA and RNA.
Let's go at biogenesis.
And more
let's
recently,
go.
they reported glucose and ribose, 2 very important
And
carbohydrates.
tryptophan.
No.
Can you like
shut
repeat
up.
that and
Are you
make
serious?
sure that it's recorded and
Yep.
make sure it has a highlight?
It is very cool.
Are you that's really?
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, that's so great.
Yep. And the rock has serpentine on it. I don't know if we were talking about that earlier, but since it's associated with hydrothermal vents, which is like our best idea of like early metabolic processes being able to utilize the hydrogen gradient at hydrothermal vents, I think that's like really big.
Dude, that's so cool. I could never get my mind around physics. I don't know what it was. I tried like physics classes a couple times. Like I liked it at the high school level, and I really liked it. So I was like, okay, I'll take some calculus-based physics in college, and it was just like I have no idea what's going on. It's very hard to conceptualize. I just don't have a brain for it. I think it's cool though.
Ribose glucose. Yeah, there it is. Glucose tryptophan. Jesus.
It's on
That is the
Wikipedia.
best. Yeah, that's where I found myself. That is
Does it say it's both enantiomers, or is it like L-glucose or D-glucose? Does it say?
Oh, this is so interesting. On my birthday on 2020, they descended onto the asteroid and pogo sticked off. That's the official term for it. Pogo sticked off while
The NASA
successfully
maneuver.
collecting a sample. I guess if you're
It's
exploding
just
it,
like you were in 3rd grade.
yeah, like if you explode it, then it's like then you can collect something as it exploded. You know what I mean? So is that the idea?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yep.
Well, it probably like as it landed, it compressed whatever was going to then spring back. So it compresses, grabs a bunch of junk, and then
Yeah.
springs back out. Maybe.
Because the propulsion can also be used to gather materials if you
Wow.
shape it right. So they
Okay.
had compartments open when they did the propulsion event. So
Oh, so it just like blows upward instead of like outward, or blows turbulently inward or whatever.
it probably mostly is for lift, and then like some of that lift also generates like it pulls the particles up into the container.
How do you collect it though? That's how after it happens, how do you know exactly where it's gonna where it's gonna be, and how it's gonna re-enter our orbit?
Yeah, a lot of math, a lot of calculus.
That's wild. That's so
And what's
crazy.
more wild is when they were doing those calculations before there was a computer crunching that.
True.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so true.
Shout out to Jack Black's mom.
Right. With Jack Black in her belly. What is galactose? That sounds awfully neologism-y. The sugar of the galaxy.
It's just a monosaccharide. Yeah, there's different kinds of carbohydrates. So like it's
just a normal one. It's just a normal one that we. Okay.
Galactose is part of like lactose that you have in milk.
Oh, sure it is. All right. I'm like galaxy. It looked too convenient. I'm like, did they coin it galactose? But no, it's a regular word. All right, fine.
It's just the way the hydroxyls are facing on the carbons.
Fine.
Hilarious.
They should call it galaxitose.
I don't know. It sounds like a Marvel movie. I'm here for it.
I keep waiting for the future, right? Is this it? Been waiting.
I don't know if I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if we would actually like come together for. God, it's just like some random asteroid, dude. Like, how would you know? How would you know that?
Salt minerals deposited as a result of brine evaporation from the parent body. Wow.
I'm so happy I accidentally stumbled on this.
Why did
14 of the 20 amino acids that we have. Yeah.
More importantly, it's from all 4 major groups. So
Well, I
I
really
think
want
it
to
also
see.
includes proline, which is really important for turns.
So it's a potential. Is it more prokaryote or eukaryote? Because this is way out of my depth.
Well, this would be before we get to prokaryotes, because eukaryotic life evolved like way later.
Okay.
But like this is before technically we even get to prokaryotes, because that would have been like already had a cell and stuff, and like genetics and that kind of thing. This is early chemistry, so this is like the building blocks of proteins are amino acids, and then sugars are important for a
Right,
lot of
but
different.
glucose and like ribose, because it's a ribosome, right, which is also a part of a cell. So I just don't know
Right.
where in the transition it is, because it's not like a virus, and it feels like it could be, I guess, like, I don't know,
Well, it's
some
not. They're not.
proto
They're not
something.
phosphodiester bond in most of them. I think they're like single nucleotide bases. So like, I'm not sure that they have these large features. Like, because a ribosome is like a large chain of RNA that like forms a ribosome, because it's like its own machinery basically. But this is like orders of magnitude smaller than that. This is like single nucleotides.
Like a part, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
This
they
is like
they phosphodiester bond into RNA that can do that, but they aren't on the asteroid itself.
we found like a piece of the Lego block, not like the entire assembled machine that like
Okay.
is perfect.
Can I make a analogy? So if quark is to proton, what is ribosome to prokaryote? How
I don't know
accurate is
what
that?
that reference is.
So
Quark is
quarks
to
make
proton?
up protons, right? So if we're gonna go to the basics, like
Okay.
they're not quite ribosomes, but they're the parts that make the ribosomes. But I don't know how far that is. Just like a quark.
I mean, how
you can
many
also
base
go
pairs long is a
into other
ribosome?
things.
I think it's like several hundred, isn't it?
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, because it's gonna have to then you're gonna have to get somewhere where it gets to metabolize and somewhere where it gets to replicate, and somehow we get a cell membrane. Like there's a lot that has to go on before we actually get
At least we have carbons.
from
That's fun.
from amino to somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a few more
Right.
steps. Yeah.
I think the most energetically favorable is amyloids, and that's where I want to go into my research on it.
Nice.
All I know of them is their very famous plaque, which I hope someone very famous is having plenty of right now in his
Which is
3 to
also where
5
the-
month countdown.
Right. It's also where the money for researching amyloids is right now, is in Alzheimer's research. Well, there's other stuff too, but
Yeah.
like mainly Alzheimer's.
Mm.
Or the
Yeah, so
flat-
I'm going to ask the question. If it
for
wasn't
it.
bacon associated, which I think a lot of us heard pork, can you clarify the term that was
Yeah,
used? Not bacon
was
related?
He was meaning quark, yeah.
Okay, so not bacon. Got it.
Yeah.
Pork.
I
That's why
think
I was
I'm just
confused at
hungry.
first. I was like, I don't know how I get pork to this thing. And then it was like,
That's
okay,
right.
as the
Oh,
conversation
I'm
kept
like-
going, I
I'm
was
why are
like,
you talking
okay.
about bacon? Oh, pork.
Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought about bacon and I guess I'm still hungry. I'm sorry.
I heard quark, Hex. I heard quark, so you're fine.
It's all
just
good.
them.
No, I
It's-
love it.
We're just the ones hungry.
Yeah, you got a sandwich. You're all good.
But no, it's not sufficient now. It's a lacking sandwich. There's no pork. There's no bacon. And now I want a steak.
Oh man. Well, guys, thank you for coming up. I think I'm gonna head to bed early. I am not feeling 100%. My throat's hurting. But thank you for coming up. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all. Yeah.
Thanks for having us up.
thanks for having us.
Have a
Yeah,
good
man.
night.
Bye.
Hope your
Got
throat
the throw
feels
on my
better.
hat.
Oh, nice. That's sick. That's sick. Bye.
Chat with you later. Nice chat with you.
All right, guys. That was nice chatting with you, Dr. T, as always. Appreciate you. All right, guys. I'm gonna head in. I'm tired. Oh gosh, what is going on here, guys? We're back. I'm figuring out this TikTok thing, guys. I'm figuring it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Gonna try to feel better tomorrow. Have more energy. Let my throat feel better. But I'll see you guys soon. Peace. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, YouTube. All right. I will see you